Might as well start recording on OBS. Okay, there we go. I'm using OBS Studio to like record the screen and background, so I can change the background. And then there's a different web program which does the disco icons jumping up and down. I've seen it before, but I just didn't know how to do it until I actually found a guide last week. Hello, Green. It's been a while. You're our first guest on the podcast. I thought it'd be Tony, but
Why would you want it to be Tony?
Tony has some good stories. But I'm sure he has some good stories too.
Um,
Actually, Green, I do have a favor to ask you for this podcast.
okay, what's up?
So usually in podcasts, they have like a opening and ending music track. So I do know that you play guitar, and I was wondering if you can
I
record something.
pretend to.
I don't know, it doesn't have to be
Do
that
you
long.
do you have a thought of what you want?
I have no idea. But it's only like 5 to 10 seconds. This is only the second episode, so the plan is to record a few episodes and go public.
Okay. I mean, my what I mostly play is like folk kind of music, but I can try something else. I own two electric guitars that I haven't played in a year, but yeah, I'll try. I have nothing but time.
Well, I don't play any instruments. Actually, I did used to play an instrument when I was young, and that was the violin for 10 years. But then I stopped.
10 years of violin.
Yes,
That's a lot of experience
yes. But
that you.
I haven't played in like 8 years, 10 years now.
I reckon you could still do it, and it'd sound more sophisticated than an out of tune guitar.
I mean, I have my violin, it's under my bed, but do I want to take it out? Not really. The bow is made of wood and horsehair, and so over time you got these bugs eating the horsehair or it just falls apart. So I would have to replace the bow first. I guess I can pluck the strings and retune it, but that's about it. I don't know. Did you play anything, Chew?
I played like guitar for 3 months. That was because I had to learn something during elementary school,
Okay, so nothing in the
and then
past 5 years.
no, and well, nothing in the past. And then I played flute during band, and I played piano because Asian parents.
I had a recorder back in grade school, but I was like so long ago.
Recorder is just like the kid version of a clarinet,
Yeah, that's what
which
it
is
is.
also the clarinet is just a easier version of an oboe.
Welcome, Dead Set.
And then the flute is
Yeah.
an easier version of a piccolo.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of using my lungs for an instrument. I would rather just play the strings.
And
Press
then
a
you,
button,
you
push a
could have
button.
done like drums or bass or like percussionist or violin, yeah.
Well, Green, there's no rush for for this opening and ending. I don't know. We can change it up over time, but just something I thought I can ask you for. Otherwise, I'll just
Yeah, that's fine.
use some non-copyright thing.
I mean, it would help if I had an idea of what you wanted, but I'll try and shoot for something that I think you'll want. Also, I'm a little drunk.
Oh,
If that wasn't apparent, I
okay.
came prepared for the podcast.
Well, this is our second podcast. So last week we had Alexi and was that it, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
So I thought having music would be nice for this podcast, at least for the listener to be for the introduction, and then the ending will just I don't know, just have Dead Set have his words of wisdom for the week.
What?
Come on, I mean your Discord, uh, where was it? I can't find you. You're offline. You know what? Did you have a
Oh
custom
yeah, I'm
status?
usually invisible, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, it's from a movie I watched recently.
yeah. What movie was that?
The latest Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, jeez, I haven't watched Kung Fu Panda since first and second one. That's like a couple years old now.
Yeah.
So why did you pick that as your quote?
Oh, it's a little nugget, yeah.
First rule of the streets: never trust anyone.
Yeah.
Are you from the streets? I don't. I think I'm a. I don't. I'm not really a street person. Are you guys
Little
street people?
nuggets of wisdom, yeah.
Are you guys street people?
What does it
Hmm.
mean to be street people?
To be a street person is I actually don't know, but I suppose you would have connections and you would know the language to speak in the community, as well as the unknown rules of the community.
Mm.
No, but I did watch Atlanta over the weekend.
What? What's Atlanta?
Uh, it's um, it's a TV show with Donald Glover, Lakeith Stanfield, and those are the only two that I remember. It's a good show.
Atlanta is a top TV series. Oh, it's like 2016, 2022. So are the characters people on the street?
So it follows um, Donald Glover's character named Ern, and he just got kicked out of Princeton, and he's trying to support his daughter and his baby mama, and so he goes to his cousin, and his cousin's a rapper called Paperboy, and he offers to be Paperboy's manager, and it kind of follows that, which, from what I understand, is very uh, um, it's something that would happen in Atlanta because Atlanta's obviously a big hub for music artists.
I don't think I've been to Atlanta, but that does sound interesting. I don't
It
do rap.
has,
Rap is kind of hard for me.
yeah. I mean, it doesn't have a formal structure. It, there's a lot of bottle episodes, especially in the third season, which are like self-contained stories, and it from what I noticed, there are plenty of episodes that deal with like African American ideals, and it's like I think Donald Glover. I don't remember his history, but I remember on his stand-up routine that he went to an all-white school, and people would ask him like stuff about rap and stuff, and he didn't really listen to that, and then you know he had to pretend to be this person that he wasn't, and I think that the show explores that a bit.
Dang. It got like
Yeah.
41 episodes. It's pretty good.
Like I said, I watched it over the weekend, so
All 41
I don't have a
episodes?
life. Not this weekend, but a couple weekends ago.
Wikipedia says it's regarded as one of the best TV series of 2010s. Never heard of it, so
I like the Lakeith Stanfield's character. Um, I'm blanking on the name right now, but he's a very like um, he's not necessarily a grounded character, but he does kind of like is a little bit of the voice of reason in a sense
so
because
he's a straight
he's
man.
no he's I wouldn't say like spiritual or on drugs, but it's like that. I don't know. I'm not very good at explaining things, but
Well, it's where he his works of art are not in my genre, unfortunately. What about you guys?
Hmm.
I'll take that as a no.
Yeah. So, what do you think of the stream?
Rabbits.
Yeah, we have like two rabbits in here, and then
Greg is a bear.
I think they're coming for Elmer Thud.
we have one bear, one cat, and then TGI. Do you have an animal you identify with?
No.
That's okay.
If you want, I can reinvent my entire personality.
Do you have a animal you like?
Pangolins.
Penguins?
No, not penguins. Pangolin.
Pangolin?
Pangolins. Yep.
Like
Oh,
some sort of reptile creature.
I have to look
It's a
this up.
mammal. It's
It's a
Oh, like
mammal, yeah.
yeah, sort of like an armadillo.
Oh,
Yeah.
pangolin. It's Pangolin.
Probably.
They're anteaters. What? Why would you like this animal? Did you read in the book or something?
No, it's just no one expects it.
It's
Yeah.
like armadillo or I don't know. I'm more familiar with the Japanese like Japanese animals that are kind of mythical.
Hmm.
Chew, can we get a
Yeah.
podcast text channel?
Do we have to?
No, I could just keep posting in general.
Like General is pretty dead, so just post it in there.
Okay, what happened to
Keep
threads
General
though?
alive with
Keep
your post.
keep the general alive.
Yeah,
Did you kill the threads feature?
I think I did.
Okay.
Just
Oh
to
well.
just to keep everything like in one place instead of breaking everything up.
True. Okay. Any topic you be interested in? I know I said point one was special guest was Tony, but he's not here, so fuck him.
So you got me
You,
instead.
did you message him? Or...
No, he I just saw he's joined on. He said he joined the podcast. Meanwhile, people like that said don't even say they're gonna join the podcast. So it just shows up
Yeah,
a member.
well, he hasn't even been online for 9 hours according to Steam.
I bet it's the usual.
Well, what is the usual?
The usual is he games, then sleeps for a few hours,
Yeah.
and then he doesn't wake up until like 2 a.m. and then games again. So unless he sets an alarm, he's not gonna make it.
the life the life of a gamer.
All right, why don't I move on to the
Yeah.
next point? How would you guys get started with PC gaming? For me, I started with I inherited this old laptop from my grandpa who died from cancer, and so my friend convinced me to install Steam and play this free FPS game like Warface on Steam, and that's how I got started with all these PC gaming.
I started in the era where Steam was not even a thing. We
Yeah.
were
Same.
stuck with buying CDs, physical CDs.
The good old days.
Yeah. And my first game was actually Call of Duty.
Call of
The very
Duty,
first one. It was a good game.
Nice.
Call of Duty 1 or just Call of Duty?
Call of Duty 1, which back then was just called Call of Duty.
It's amazing how the franchise has changed over time.
It was like one of the first games that had first person like aim down the sights.
So what? You had a family computer and use that?
Yeah. Before that I was playing Nintendo 64.
Oh wow.
But that's not PC, so that's a slightly different,
Yeah.
machine.
I think my first game on PC would have been either Pirates of the Caribbean Online or a I think it was a Lego game or yeah, something like that. And then
My second game was GTA 3, which is kind of funny because back then it was like age restricted, and so I had to bring my parents to the store to buy it with me.
Lol. typical typical bypass. Hey, does Club Penguin count? I played Club Penguin on my netbook, but
What's Club Penguin?
it's like it's like it's like RuneScape, I think.
RuneScape.
I used to
Those
play a lot
good
of.
old DOS games.
You played DOS?
Yeah.
Actually, that's
I'm
a.
ancient. Yeah.
I'm a bit too young for DOS, but I know what it is.
I remember like I had this DOS game. It was called Commander Keen.
Yeah.
It's like a side scrolling platformer.
Yeah. I think I have one of those. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
how'd you play it, Dead Set? How'd you play DOS? What computer hardware?
just like arrow keys, the arrow keys and keyboard.
So long ago, I think I had 386. Yeah. But I killed it and then had to upgrade to a 486.
What?
Those were the good old days.
Are you talking about the motherboard or
Yeah,
the
yeah.
graphics card? Okay.
The entire yeah, the entire board. I think I shorted my 386 because stupid me. I put it down on the floor. Yeah, and tried to power it up. Yeah, of course the grounded. Yeah,
It's short itself to ground.
yeah. And my 486 didn't last long either because it's probably a crappy brand or something. Yeah, that's when I built my very first Pentium. Yeah,
Oh, Pentium.
it should still be alive. I hope. Yeah,
I used to have a Pentium. Well, it wasn't mine, but
yeah.
I played around with it.
I will say that um, how I got into like PC gaming specifically was I had tried to 3D model, and somebody that I knew offered to lend me a computer, like an actual desktop, because I was using a laptop, and they graciously gave me a full PC.
Just in terms of order events, I would say Dead Set is probably the oldest, then Chew, and then me, and then Green. When did you get your first desktop? Because sounds like before you didn't have
I
anything.
Well, we had the family computer, but when I got my first desktop, I think it was probably like 2018 or 2017.
Okay, so it's only been 7 years.
Yeah, somewhere in the
Six.
90s, I suppose.
I think the first game that I actually like enjoyed playing was Day of Infamy, because it had low graphics and people were still playing it at the time.
Oh, the Insurgency spin-off.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. I thought it came out before Insurgency, sorry.
I I I think I played the demo or the free version, free beta.
Yeah. But that's how I got into Insurgency. That's how I fell into
Yeah.
this um hellhole.
Oh, so you went to Day of Infamy first, and then back to Insurgency, then to Insurgency.
Yeah. I forget the order, but yeah, it was like that. And I still haven't gotten used to any of the sandstorm maps.
Oh well.
I think I only have like 80 something hours compared to anyone else in this.
I only have like 200 hours. Actually, I don't remember. I have to log into Steam. Steam is installed. I know Deadset has like some ridiculous amount of hours on Insurgency Sandstorm.
5,481.2 hours, yeah.
Holy fuck.
That's crazy.
And the old game, 5,677.1 hour, yeah.
You know, I thought people like when I played GTFO, there would be some veterans who put in like over 2,000 hours, and I look at Deadset. He's like, cannot even compare.
So, what are you guys' most playtime wise? Your top games?
Yeah, so that's mine, yeah. Both games, 5K, something, yeah.
I think the most
Each.
legitimate one I have is Deep Rock at 450. Um, Above that, though, there's Skyrim, which I played and then I let my brother play on this computer. And then there's RimWorld, which is how do you describe it? It's like you build your own colony. Um, I have 516 hours in that, but you know, I forgot to shut down the game a lot, so it ran in the background.
So You didn't have the full 500.
It's not real, like not actual playtime. And then Insurgency is at 432, and Day of Infamy is at 309.
Wow, you
Those are
really
my top
balanced your
5.
hours. Have you ever broken 1,000?
No.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't think I've ever broken 1,000 for any single game. Cause like it's like by that point, you just gotta move on. Like
Yeah.
it's just bad for the soul to be stuck on one game. It's almost like not moving on from the comfort zone. You, you just gotta like explore the world, so to speak.
where would you say is the minimum amount of hours you need to before you get tired and want to move on?
It depends really on the game, right? If the
Mm.
game is fun, then it would take a longer time.
I see
The
1,000
longest,
hours as the upper limit to what I would put in. I put in that much in for like Rainbow Six Siege and GTFO, and then I got
yeah.
out.
The longest I've had was not Arma, America's Army 3 at 840 hours.
Is that
It was a
free?
Ar-
free game.
Is that a free game?
Yeah,
Arma.
but it was good because like
Ar-
they were like real like veterans and active combat people, like law enforcement that actually play that game. And then like it was probably one of the first games that I used my mic.
Wow, he actually spoke in that game before he spoke to us.
Yep.
Nice.
But yeah, it was like there was a lot of teamwork involved, and like I've never had really any game prior to that involved that much teamwork. So it was something very different.
I mean, I didn't get good at shooting FPS until like a couple hundred hours into whatever FPS game.
Yeah, and I'm still not good.
Well, it takes a couple more hundred hours in practice. I'm out of practice. But dang. Would be nice if we had some had a guest on I could talk to about like a professional for teamwork and stuff like that.
Like Tony.
I don't know, not Tony. Tony Tony is a interesting character.
All right, next topic.
Uh I think we want do we all talk about what was the longest game you played? Like for me, I think it'd be actually my mobile game. But for strictly talking PC,
Yeah,
it's probably like on Steam, probably GTFO.
that's fair. I mean, I was a youth at one point. Sorry to say. So I played Roblox a lot.
Oh, my cousin plays Roblox and she's in her teens. How
Yeah.
much did you put into Roblox? Assuming that's a
I,
PC game.
I yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I put in, but I definitely put in a lot of hours because I used to help my parents with their businesses, and that had me like staying up overnight to watch the food cook.
Oh, so
Um,
that's what you did on you did Roblox.
yeah, mostly. And honestly, like here's another topic we can talk about, but like the whole like going from a solid game as a child, at least a solid game, um, to what it is now, which is basically to me it seems like a money grabbing scheme, you know, because kids are gonna beg their parents for money. Is I feel like increasingly, not increasingly, it's already happened, you know, like with
I've seen some
pay to win.
videos. I've seen some videos about Roblox and how it's like They're just making monetizing everything.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much always been that way. I think I started playing in 2011, and it used to be like really. Again, I was a child, so it was very captivating to, and this was like my first real like game where you'd
Yo,
interact with real people, like a multiplayer game,
Yeah.
and it was it was very I lost the words, but it
Well, I
was
assume it's
unique.
fun, but you had fun
Well, yeah, it was
interacting with.
fun, but there's just like so many different games that you could play, and it felt like it was created by people for people
So I actually
compared to
don't
now.
know how Roblox works. Could you explain it for us?
Yeah, so what Roblox is imagine it's kind of like Arma and Minecraft combined, kind of. Like
yeah.
you can build anything you want, and then you can have people, like you can have that game up, and then they can just join it whenever. And you don't even need to be in the game, there doesn't need to be anyone in it.
So it's like a server, and but you have custom modes.
It's not even custom modes, it's like you can completely change what kind of game you're playing. Like I played murder mysteries, I played pirate games.
Yeah.
There were just like there used to be servers where you could just go in with a whole bunch like 10 people and you each had your own plot and then you could just build whatever you wanted.
Huh.
Like it used to be very I don't know. It seemed out of the box and compared to now where it seems very like cookie cutter and like pre-made is a little sad. Not that I play it now. I did play with some like nephews and nieces. Well, I guess just nephews. But
Well, I didn't play Roblox. Dead set, did you play Roblox?
I tried it once. I didn't understand it.
At least he tried it.
But I've seen my nephews play it, yeah.
and then another thing is that there are groups, and then you could be part of not necessarily like a milsim, but you could join a group and then you could participate with that group. But I don't even know if those are still around anymore. Is my audio too big? I see it going in the red when I'm speaking.
You
It
sound
feels
fine.
okay, yeah. And Lexi's here.
By the way,
Hello.
Oh
welcome
yeah,
to
hi
stream.
Alexi.
Hello. I didn't want to interrupt you guys. That's yeah.
It's okay. We are now outnumbered by more rabbits.
Okay.
Do I need to change
It's
to a
a
bear?
group. It's a animal friends.
What's the group name for rabbits?
Like a flock of birds. I don't know.
A. Mm.
A bunch of hares.
That's really okay.
A group
Bunch
of rabbits
Yeah.
is
It's a
right.
bunch.
Wikipedia just told me that a group of rabbits is known as a colony or a nest,
Oh, I guess that's better. Yeah.
or occasionally a warren.
I like a bunch of hairs.
I do like
Sounds
that
funny.
more.
Yeah.
So Roblox allows you to be creative. That's why, and then people start monetizing that, and over time, it's turned to a
Yeah.
unfun fest for you guys, or for you, Green. Because
Well, I
I
mean,
think
I obviously I grew out of it, um, and when I come back on occasion just to like look at my profile, you know, for nostalgia and to play with nephews, it's just like I see how they're acting about it, and it's different. It's not fun. It's like you know how Fortnite kind of ruined battle royales. kinda like that.
I never played Fortnite, and I hope I never will. But I did see like some videos about it, and it became very popular. Yeah, I understand that the game changes over time, not to our liking. Uh,
Didn't you guys play this other battle royale game? It's called
We did play PUBG a couple of times.
yeah PUBG. Yeah.
that was the first game that really kicked off the battle royale, and then it turned to
Yeah.
monetization and other stuff. I mean, I got the game when it was hot, and then I didn't really stick to it because it was clunky.
I only got it after it was free.
Fuck.
And I played PUBG Mobile for a hot minute with people I knew, and that was fun, you know. But
I think it
people
became
just stopped
popular
playing.
when like people started streaming it and stuff.
Yeah, people get these like kill streaks or do the hot sniper, like because there's bullet drop simulated for sniper rifles or for every gun essentially. You would see those clips where they would just, snipe the guy like a couple miles away, and it's only a dot, but he gets a kill.
Yeah, I think streaming has honestly like changed games. Like now they're all not necessarily flashy, but do you guys know what I'm saying?
There's like a social aspect of games that can be monetized, I suppose. Makes good for content, whereas
Like
in the past,
watching it.
it's really about purely making a good game that people will be willing to spend
Yeah,
like $60 on without knowing exactly what you're getting into, but just based purely on the reviews.
but also like with battle royales, I feel like it really became more about like replay value, like compared to like you know CS:GO or Call of Duty.
Well, those are more competitive.
No, I
But
played I
Yeah,
played Call of Duty campaign over and over again, so many times.
Yeah, it was
But
fun. I like the story.
maybe Alexi can talk on this more, just because I know he used to be a competitive player, but I don't know. It's I lost my train of thought again. I'm
What
gonna
was
grab
the
another drink.
topic?
well, we're talking about how we start with PC gaming, and then we're talking about what was the longest amount of hours of PC gaming we had. And so I was gonna say that
Mm.
I put in more hours into my gotcha game because it's been I recently had the 6th anniversary. I'm like, holy shit, I've been playing this game for 6 years. But we started talking about Roblox because Green had history with that and how it changed over time. Is that right, guys? Is that how the conversation flowed?
Yeah.
So, Lexi, you have
Oh,
competitive
I think
experience?
yeah, it was the old Counter Strike back when it was a mod, and they would put that in. So this is the time a long time ago when internet wasn't. You didn't have it at home, right? You had to kind of to get good internet. You have to go to these internet cafes,
Yeah.
and so the ones here, when Counter Strike was like just starting, yeah, they would at the internet cafes they would load it up as one of their games, and then this is back when I was in like high school, so we would go there, and other kids from different schools would go there, and we would just all play after school, and it was fun.
Like back when LAN
Yeah.
parties were actually a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's cool because there wasn't you don't feel lag. It shouldn't be lag because it's the LAN, right? And
Yeah.
all the computers are basically the same specs, so no one really had
Yeah.
like some advantage. So it's really about skill, and it was pretty fun.
Wow, that's an old
That was the
school.
good old days. Yeah.
Yeah, LAN parties were different because you could like physically yell at each other
Yeah.
in earshot.
Oh, and you couldn't really troll because like sometimes yeah, it's in real life, right? So some of the people that go there might not like they would do something about the trolling, like actually confront people. So people had to behave. Yeah.
I mean, you're
Yeah.
literally there IRL, so it's not like an online identity where you can just throw away your make a new account.
Yeah, they would
Yeah.
actually like even if it's a big cafe, if someone was trolling, they would actually like the whole group of people would actually get up and they would look and find the person trolling. Yeah, it's pretty scary. Yeah, the PC gaming, I would say, Half Life was probably when that game came out, and the games that were built using that system was when I would say for me, PC gaming really took off because
Yeah.
yeah, Half Life had like Half Life multiplayer, including Team Fortress and what else? Yeah, mostly Counter Strike, I would say.
So you started playing in the internet cafes, right? Did you ever? When did you get your first computer for gaming?
I had computer in high school, but I didn't have internet. So
Oh, that's a bigger, yeah.
yeah, so I remember I didn't have internet, but there was one game where you didn't need internet, but it felt like you were playing with people, and that was Unreal Tournament. And it's Unreal Tournament is basically you're playing with bots, but the bots behave pretty close to humans, if not like sometimes way better. And you can have bot teammates that, yeah, it's almost like you're playing with people. Sometimes better than people. Yeah.
You know, I heard you say that a lot against the Ready or Not bots, especially the Railroad AI.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's the nature of Unreal Tournament. It's a arena style, right? So everyone's just running around. It's not that I wouldn't say it's
Yeah.
tactical. It's more Twitch Twitch style, and it's just fun. It's just jumping around, and there's different mutations, right? So you could actually turn off the gravity, or not turn off gravity, like make it so the gravity's so low you can jump around, or you can have they call it instant gib mod, where one shot kills for everyone. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
What would you say is your most played game in terms of how many hours? I guess it sounds like you did a lot when you're young, but anything recent?
It's the game specifically.
Yeah, so we were talking about how I have like at least 1,000 hours into Rainbow Six and GTFO. Green was talking about how he only has like 500 hours on average per game.
I would have to say Insurgency is the one. Sandstorm.
Yeah.
Insurgency. Yeah, that's the one I play the most because everyone's playing that game. Yeah. Mm.
So are you on Dead Test level or no?
No, I'm still at level 1000. I think that's just like 3000 or more.
Yeah.
I'm
Was it
level
5000?
72.
I'm like 200 something. I don't know how you guys do it. I guess you grind the XP.
Yeah.
I don't really grind. It's more like when you guys are playing, I just log in and I play with you guys. I don't really look at the stats.
Yeah, I don't care about the
For me, it's more of
stats
a
either.
social, yeah.
Yeah.
But to make it less boring, I've been switching my playstyle. So in the old days, I play very carefully and I always use like the same rifle. But now I'm doing more like kind of how Chi was doing. Like he would switch up his loadout to be like no armor or light armor or like Mosin only, or I'll use a rifle I never used before. For example, like I never used to use a P90, and then I thought, okay, how about I just start basically playing in a style where it's a P90 build style, and it's kind of cool that even though like fundamentally the weapons they aren't that much different, but if you really take notice, there is some subtle like nuances for each rifle. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, definitely. The more you play with the gun, the more you find out the personality. I would say.
Mm.
I think
Yeah, and
yeah.
yeah, the P90 it's 50 rounds and it shoots pretty fast, but I'll try the FAMAS, which shoots even faster, and you kind of just burn magazines very quickly.
The horizontal recoil on the P90 is kind of insane compared to everything else. Normally it's vertical.
Mm. I don't know why. I think the AK recoil has made it so the recoil of other rifles are pretty easy for me.
That's it. You're an AK fan or user. What would you say?
Hmm. Yeah, I've been using the AK-74 majority lately on the Sandstorm.
I feel like that's the only thing you use for the past 3 years.
I do use the MCX 300 on ISMC1 servers.
I've always been a fan of the Honey Badger.
Yeah, Funny Badger is fun.
I think it's just
Yeah,
overall a
kind of
really
like
good
that
gun.
on the old game, but on Sandstorm, not too much. It feels weak for me at least.
Yeah,
Honey
on
Badger
the
is very good close quarter, but every time I try to range it, it's like
Yeah.
throwing a ball.
The one playstyle that kind of taught me how to manage recoil or train recoil is to play gunner and gunner with the M60 and using the M60 with M60 and then sometimes just hit firing and learning how to control that wild recoil and being able to CQC with the M60 machine gun. Yeah, it's pretty fun because you can run into a room, right, and you just hold down, you just spray, and you don't stop. And there's nothing in front of you that could stop you because you're a overwhelming force.
Well, technically, the HP Browning bot or the Mosin could one tap you.
They could, but if I'm like barraging first, right, I'm like a train running in there.
You're Rambo.
Yeah, basically, yeah, you're Rambo. It's basically the Rambo build. So I think, yeah, that game Sandstorm, I thought that I would be bored with it, but by like kind of playing outside of my usual comfort zone, it became a new game. And sometimes it's like I can play as like I can play Rambo, right? But sometimes I could go and turn this game into a stealth game by using like, for example, suppress pistols and suppress weapons like MP5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a well rod moment. I think it was our icon at that one point, but now it's the Mosin.
It was both action and everything.
I'm still in a Steam group called Cowboys and Well Rods that Tony made.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Lexi, I've been through I've been on a similar journey for Sandstorm, and it got to the point where I was like, I don't need a gun anymore. I'll just pick off the floor and work with that. Scavenger mode was pretty fun as well.
Yeah.
You have to spot
Yeah.
in addition to like shooting the enemies, you gotta look for the ammunition on the floor to scavenge. and pick up the gun. Hopefully your RNG is good.
I used to be like I couldn't. My accuracy was really bad. Okay, like I used to just run and gun, like kind of Desta style, like with AK, and I would always only auto fire. So one magazine can only maybe take down 3 targets, and yeah. But after like switching the playstyle to I forced myself to single fire. Yeah, slowly I improved my accuracy level, and one magazine usually now could take down like I would say 10 or 12 or entire squad instead of just only 3. So
That's great.
and it's helped me in the other games now. Like I can actually play marksman in like so we started playing Helldivers 2 and these skills from Sandstorm did carry over because usually in the past like I couldn't shoot things that far away.
How was Helldivers 2? And who do you play with?
I play with Chu, Goku, Clank, and some maybe when Rooftop comes back, we can play together.
Yeah.
And that set's gonna come play with us too.
Yeah, I've only played like a few games so far, but
Yeah.
so far it's pretty fun.
So you guys just started.
Yeah, we just started.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for tomorrow in hopes that it'll be on sale for Memorial Day.
Oh, I just ended up buying it at full price. I very rarely buy games at full price.
If you have a crew, so how many players
Yeah.
can you team up with? 3?
Yeah. 4-man squad.
Kind of reminds me of Deep Rock. Any similarities or no?
It's
like a slightly realistic version of that.
it's kind of I would say the feeling of it, the physics or the gameplay physics feels like a mix between Sandstorm and Arma.
I do know it's third person, but did you say there's any first person aspect to it or no?
When you shoot your weapon, you could toggle first person.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So
Yeah, apparently there's like different styles of playing it. Some people they like to run quickly and they stealth, and then other people just like to shoot everything. So I guess it depends on the team that you end up playing with.
Yeah, I'm so bad at that game. I'm avoiding to playing with randos. Yeah.
I heard that Sony pulled back the PSN account requiring.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. Let's see how much it is. $40.
Like the only reason why I bought it full price was because I just got a new credit card recently, and I have like insane cashback perks on it
Oh,
for the first few months. So that's why I'm like, okay,
Nice.
I'll just buy it.
I've never understood cashback.
You just get like a percentage back of what you spend.
it's like a discount.
Yeah, think of it as a discount that you can take
Does
anywhere.
Does it come back to you like quarterly?
Depends on the card issuer. So sometimes, like for example, Costco, if you for us, there's a MasterCard, and they will only issue a rebate by check once a year. The one that I have, I can choose the cashback like anytime I want. So it really depends on the card issuer.
Hey, is it true that the game requires 100 gigabytes?
It was a big. I'm not sure if it's 100, but it was quite a big
Around
initial.
like 60 or 70 gigabytes.
Jeez. The Steam
Yeah,
page
well, I
says
mean
100.
like that's like most games nowadays.
Checking now.
Well, the Steam page says 100, so I was like,
74.9.
it's up there.
I think it's probably telling us that you need that much free space. As a not necessarily going to take 100,
Yeah.
but it is quite a big game.
How does democracy feel for those not in the U.S.?
Democracy is broken. That's what I can say.
Yeah.
Can't deny that.
Democracy,
I-
that's just the majority rule, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what it's supposed to be, but I don't think that, that's actually happening.
Like, this is a hot opinion, but then I think the majority of people are stupid and they should have no involvement in leading or even choosing who should be leading the world.
Yeah.
Well, I think that the politicians, that's what they think.
I think USA is technically a republic. We're not
Yeah,
like a
it's
yeah.
a mess. I've always liked the idea of going back to tribes,
Yeah, I
good old
agree with
days.
tribes. We should go back to tribes.
I wish there wasn't all that murder, but like,
So like smaller communities.
I mean, it's not just smaller communities. It's their own autonomy.
I think that's why like countries like Singapore, where they're like, yeah, they're their own country, but they're small in a way that the size of the government and the land that they control and the population that they control is suitable. But then we have like for example, countries like USA, and they have like what 51, 52 states, and then there's just a lot of fragmentation on like the governance. You got like a federal
Yeah.
level, and you got a state level, and you got county level, and you got like the city
Yeah.
level and all that crap, right?
I mean, from my perspective, for the most part, the legal aspect of the US doesn't really come up unless it's like a hyper, like, let's say abortion or gun rights, something like that. Unless it's like a hot, in quotes, hot button issue, it's not, it doesn't feel any different no matter where you go. I say that as somebody who doesn't own a home. There are a lot
I've
more
seen yeah.
a lot more issues with
Right now in the U.S., it's the migrant and the housing. Say, housing crisis. So.
I've seen a lot of shows and movies and stuff about, like, for example, like either Silo or Attack on Titan, where there's like groups of people that wall themselves off from the outside world because it's deemed, hazardous. And then I think about
Yeah.
what's going on with the southern border, and I'm like, some red flags pop up, but like yeah, it's me.
I mean, recently the news, yeah, you see the New York City with the. It's not really about. It's about they're not prosecuting crime, especially like they're calling like I think what under 1,000, like people just. Is it retail crime? Yeah, retail shoplifting, right? So there's a bunch of criminals going to stores just with a
They
trash
run
bag,
like
just
a mob style.
Yeah, like that's on the news a
Oh,
lot, and it seems like this. You would think this is a common sense thing, right? They would just catch the bad guys, but a lot of them are getting arrested and then they're getting released. And it's not just like one or two times. There's a YouTube channel. There's a guy that was going over in this topic quite extensively.
Yeah, it's Cash
And
Jordan. I
yeah,
stopped watching it because it's all just depressing news to me. So, I mean, I know it exists, but I had to stop watching it. But yeah, that's the reality of the New York City he presents.
I think what
I mean,
we
even
yeah.
even with like Oregon, they decriminalized a lot of what is it, class 3, class 4 narcotics, and obviously drug use went up, and it didn't really help anything. But what their plan was to do was um, decriminalize it so the people actually go and get help, not get locked up in prison. But that didn't work.
It sounds like it should, because there's more as long as they get the resources and help. But
Well, I think the problem is that they weren't getting, either they weren't seeking out the resources, or I don't know. But they went back on it, so now it's back to being criminalized.
well, that's yeah. As Alexi said
Which
earlier, in New York City, there's a certain amount of cash that you can like damage but not get penalized for before it's like actually thrown in jail.
isn't that federal?
I
Well,
don't
I don't
know.
know, but I know like Walmart, if you, I think it's like $3,000 if you shoplift over $3,000, and it becomes a felony, and then they will prosecute you.
Yeah, here it's like lower. It's like 1,000 or something. Right, Lexi?
And
Yeah, it
so
might be
yeah,
that.
what I've seen is like, so these bad guys, they know, so they go below the amount and they just go in and out of the store throughout the day. So as long like they're not stupid, right? These criminals are very smart. So they just go under the amount, and I forgot what is the exact amount, but if it's by per incident, right? That means like that person could just, yeah, like they go to that trip 10 times that day, and then they just go below that number. And what are they gonna do?
They'll
Do
just
Nothing.
get
you
Yeah.
do
arrested
you
and released.
do you guys think that that is more of a economic problem, or is that more of something else?
It just
Because
sounds like a broken
obviously,
system.
like, well, yeah, I mean, they're obviously exploiting it, but you know, not necessarily desperate people, but like if you have, let's say, a felony and you get out of jail, it's going to be harder for you to get a job. So what do? You know, you'll have to do illegal things. You're more likely to do illegal things because that's what you perceive as your only option. So, do you guys think that there needs to be just a total re remake of the judicial system?
No, I think it's a lot of like a lot of factors you mentioned. So there's the job aspect, there's the economic aspect, and then there's the judicial aspect. So it's all spiraling downhill at this point to where who knows when they'll break or something will snap.
I mean,
So
obviously, you can't stop crime. It's always going to be a thing.
I was like joking with my friend who's also from New York. I was saying like Gotham City is look a lot nicer than honestly New York right now, because at least Gotham City has Batman, right? Batman and
Yeah.
other, like, yeah, they're protecting the city. New York City don't have that. Like, if you watch that movie Joker, the Joker, yeah, Gotham City in that movie looks safer to go to than New York City now.
But what about
And that's
Rudy Giuliani? He can be our Batman.
Not sure about him, but isn't he in some trouble right now? Like they
Yeah.
just
Yeah, he used to be the mayor of New York.
didn't he clean up the streets? Yeah.
He was the mayor of New York, and everyone really loved him. And then he kind of went crazy, and he had hair dye, and he was sweating a lot, and then it was all downhill from there.
It's like so in Helldivers, like the game, right? Like if you think about the whole that they're saying that game is partly inspired by Starship Troopers, and the whole Starship Troopers, the whole people going to fight bugs and everything. That's like an allegory. Okay, it's an allegory that this is part of the war economy, right? The Super Earth needs to have wars so that the society can continue.
You mean like Russia?
Otherwise, like yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a commentary on people need something to do, and maybe there's not enough jobs for everybody. So in one way is to have wars so that people have something to do. And since health divers, each health diver, the life expectancy is so low that you don't really have to worry about retirement because most people won't live past 30. And I think in Starship Troopers, a person is a citizen only if they actually, if they serve the military, right? So as a citizen, you can vote. So non-citizens can't vote. So there's probably some kind of mechanism where the only way for that entire civilization to not collapse is through war. And I don't know if what's the solution for our current situation. I do believe it's possibly AI, because humans right now, we made so much our own problems. I really don't think humans alone can solve it. We need technological assistance.
So I think that most of our problems are due to money and how we think about money, how we act about money. That's why I've always been in favor of, or not in favor. I've always wished that we could go back to like tribal, not nomadic, but tribal societies. Like, there's definitely money made in like war profiteering or the military industrial complex. There's stuff like that, but I don't. I lost my train of thought again.
That's an interesting take.
Well, I actually read the book Starship Troopers, and apparently it is at one time the only science fiction book for the Marine Corps, for the officers of the Marine Corps, the U.S. Marine Corps. Then, as part of the curriculum.
Oh.
Like they were required to read and study that book to become an officer of the Marine Corps. But like the takeaway is that like for humanity to unite, there has to be a common enemy. There has to be a common purpose.
I guess I know what my next book is. Damn, 1959. All right.
And then, so like Alexei, you mentioned that like to become a citizen with voting rights, they have to serve in the military. And then I believe the entire world was pretty much a singular fascist government, which commanded like pretty much everything. And I wouldn't say like fascism itself is a bad thing, as long as the people who lead that fascist government have everyone's minds in the best interest. But of course, people are terrible, so that's probably never going to happen. Which leads to being AI is probably going to be our savior.
Savior or the end of us.
Yeah. Because
Skynet.
that kind of like, yeah, exactly. So if you go into like the Terminator world where AI decides that okay, humans cannot be saved, then we will be wiped out.
I think it won't just be one AI. This is like a Pandora's box, right? It's gonna be a whole bunch of AIs, and there's gonna. I mean, this is kind of realm of almost supernatural, because it is kind of right. Because these AIs beyond our ability. Like you and I, we have to sleep. Our thinking process is only limited, right? With AI, it's almost sky's the limit.
Have we
So
passed the
I'm
singularity?
hoping. Yeah, it's the singularity. We're gonna get there.
Oh, we're not
And
there yet. Okay.
The thing
we
is,
will.
like, the current like modern world, like the fact that we have, like however many 150 different countries, that's just proof that the world cannot unite. The fact that we have different countries means everyone feels like there's a different way that the world should be run.
Yeah.
There was a Rick and Morty
I
episode on
better.
that. Did you know?
Can you explain the episode?
So it was like they were visiting a microcosm world. So the Rick's car had a world had a battery that inside of that was a world, and so I think was no anyway. Actually, I think it was a rub. I think it wasn't related to it, but what I remember was that the countries united or came to after they united for like a alien threat, and so that's when all the countries started to work together and actually work and try to like to work against the alien threat. I forgot what it was. Sorry, it's been so long since I watched it, but
I think the battery episode was battery inside a battery inside a battery, or whatever. But
yeah.
Oh, the
I
Rick and
don't.
Morty one. Oh, yeah.
But there was a episode where it was I forget the terminology for it, but like Unity, where it was like a mind control, a hive thing, where that was the only way to have world peace was to have everyone inside a mindset. I don't know if that's the one you're talking about or not.
No, but that does bring an interesting point that can we be independent and happy together, or is the borders and wars part of humanity?
I mean, I think that your capacity for coexistence just depends on your situation growing up and who your parents are, how they feel, their whole life history, their parents' whole life history.
Balance, yeah. Because think about it. If the entire world is at peace, like we talk about, like there's a order and chaos, right? You can't have too much of a one thing. If it's just pure order, right? There's only peace. That becomes tyrannical, right? Because what if, okay, yeah, there's no war, but everyone has to do everything a certain way. And if you don't do it, well, maybe it's like people get punished for it. So maybe this is the cycle, right? You need to have order and chaos. You need to have this perhaps many different kingdoms or countries. So if one system doesn't work, you can always go to another. Maybe you can't go to another one, but at least the existence of another system might be a better way. So we're not putting all our eggs in one basket.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I mean, I always hear people say that they like the idea of communism, but not the practical application of it. I
You
mean,
got the Chinese immigrants coming through the border. They don't want
yeah,
communism.
I mean, you have the CCP, you have the Soviet Union. I mean, obviously they were not good regimes at all, and
I wouldn't
even
even I wouldn't even say they were truly communist. They were like
yeah,
dictatorships.
yeah, but I mean, that
Communism
is
doesn't work on humans because if you want to talk about communism, how is it possible? Okay, like logistically possible to have truly like 100% equality for everyone. Like literally, everybody gets the exact same thing. Because if you factor in right, how does that work? Okay, everyone gets the same money. How do they measure? Okay, for example, everyone gets $10. For how do you measure the quality of the work? You can't, right? You can't really do that. How come one person there's a better job, but he gets paid $10, another person does nothing, still get paid $10?
I mean, I was gonna say that everyone is, everyone likes the idea of communism, but no one's gonna try it because of the history of it and obviously the practical applications of it. But nobody wants to try, just like incrementally, just do like socialism
I think
or things like that.
human
But
greed loves capitalism.
yeah, I think that goes back to the hierarchy that we have in nature. Um, like every I don't know about every kingdom,
Like
but
there's always going to be like some people who seek power,
yeah,
and that will
Yeah.
immediately destroy the concept of communism because
yeah,
humanity is just people are greedy.
Or
People
they
want
they're
power.
only they're
and
only
I
People want inequality.
and I think
Also,
the only way to
sorry, go
fight
ahead.
that the only way to fight that would be to like standardize how you raise your kids, but you can't actually standardize that because there are so many aspects to life
yeah, you need them to be
beyond.
diverse.
Yeah, diversity of thoughts is important, right? System. We should be able to test different systems. Everyone's different. Everyone's individually different. Everyone's needs are different. Like we can't really be. Some people might be good at math, right? Some people are not. Or even some people that aren't good at math, maybe it's the way they learn. They need to learn a certain way. But if we try to like force one way on everyone, it's gonna be difficult.
Maybe if we had just have like a worldwide incident where everyone acquires the savant syndrome, where we all just become good at one specific thing. Maybe that's how we fix the world.
Maybe the world's the perfect the way it is. Some
Perfection is imperfection.
Yeah, because if everything's too good, right, then how will you know what's bad, what's good? Or if everything's bad, then we need a balance, I would say.
Yeah,
Alright.
I will say that I feel personally, I feel like there's a difference between something bad happening and then like injustices in the whether it's political or social systems that we have. Because I think injustices we can try and fix, but obviously the bad stuff is just what happens.
Alright, guys. Time to end the podcast.
All right.
It was a
On
good
th-
discussion.
That was a good
on that
discussion.
on that
Perfection,
uplifting note,
perfection in perfection, or was it the other way around? Should
we
we?
s-
Yeah.
we somehow got here from gameplay time.
Thanks from Helldiver the discussion.
Helldiver's democracy to politics and worldview and humanity.
We should talk about God next.
Oh boy. Any last words? Any words of wisdom, Dead Set, for this week?
What?
I don't know. I figure
I'm waiting for lunch too.
Okay, that'll be the quote for.
Food is the most important thing, I guess.
Yeah, food. It is. It is.
That's how we got here.
Food is. Yeah.